trained to be fighting war. Our town is overwhelmed and people are upset. On Thursdays, at the Salvation Army, there is an event held by Care for Calais, in which hundreds of men from Wethersfield are bussed into this town. And the scenes are quite alarming. They gather at the bus stop and there are hundreds flocking through to Salvation Army. It's really alarming. If you come on a Thursday, it's an overwhelming amount of men to see. And a lot of people from the left like to say it's because they have a different colour skin, which is utter nonsense. We have people living in this town who are black, brown and white. We are not upset about people being black coming to our town. We are upset that there are hundreds of undocumented illegal men, and even if that was one of our own, we'd be standing here saying what a disgrace it was. But yet we're actually still paying for this man to live in our base. It's a disgrace. We also had a man punch a woman in this town for simply recording him. We've had people on the left and other people in this town, including school staff, saying that this lady deserved to be punched. Do you know what she was doing? She was standing opposite the charity shop because she'd heard that the migrants were stealing. She observed from afar, and when the ladies in the shop looked distressed, she went in with the camera. The footage is available for you to view online. And you will see that lady didn't raise her voice, she didn't shout. And he shouted at her, and all she simply asked was, why? And she said it in a very quiet voice. And he decided to smash her camera up and punch her. Is that acceptable for a man to do that? When you go in a shop, there is a camera filming you. The police can film you. There are cameras everywhere. In this country, you can be filmed. And if you don't like it, you can go home. And to bring it up again, there has been a rape in a HMO in our town. All of the migrants living in a HMO were removed from the property, taken away by the Home Office. And do you know why that happened? Because I released the arrest video. That was the only reason why the town knew about the rape. Otherwise, none of you would have known. People were told not to release it because it would cause civil unrest. The difference is the men in this town are not going to hand themselves to the government. They're not going to go down and burn down properties. They're not going to beat people up because they have common sense. But they are going to stand on these streets, and they're not going to let men intimidate women that are living here, and they're not going to allow little girls to be groomed in the state park. We've also had a situation outside of Salem. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to affect their business. These girls, I took alarms into them in the very beginning, and they weren't very forthcoming to them. They looked a bit shocked, if I'm honest. But it was fine. Not everybody has the same view as us, but I just wanted them to be safe. But do you know what happened months later? Migrants, who I believe are living in HMOs, went into the shop and asked them for a massage. What type of massage do you think they were after? Now, when the girls refused, do you know what this man did? He sat on a bench and he masturbated. And guess what's been happening? And I hope the police are listening. He then went to another shop, I'm pretty sure it's the same man, when a lady at 9 o'clock at night was closing up on her own, and he asked her for a massage. But luckily, this woman is quite strong, and she told him to piss off. But that, and it doesn't take Einstein to work out, is an escalation of abuse. How long is it before that man raped someone in this town? Police need to be out in the evenings, and if they're not, there will be a group of people that will be patrolling. Not vigilantes, but there will be a presence, I can tell you that. I am not having women that are working in the shops in the evenings contacting me scared to walk to their cars because of this pervert asking for a massage. Before you tell me he's British, he's not. I've done my research. Go and interview all the people in the shops, they'll tell you what he looks like and what he sounds like. And it's important that when these incidences happen, that people report it to the police. We're getting so many people write things online saying they don't do anything. Fair enough, you say that, but you have to report it because there has to be a log, there has to be data. Without that, no one's going to believe anything. You can tell the police and report it, but put it on social media, tell your community. Because all you're doing is making them aware. Put the crime reference number on there. That stops the lefties saying it's all rubbish and it's not happening. It's important that the community knows. Without this information, we can't do anything. You can't keep throwing your toys out the ground saying the police aren't doing anything. You do have to log it with them, please. It's so important. I've had women contacting me saying, I've been in a shop, the migrant's done this, the migrant's done that. I've said, have you reported it? No, I'm too scared. No, you have to report it. It's so important. Another thing that I want to talk about is suddenly how our council, which is Conservative-led, are suddenly turning on these protests. James Cleverly, you are an absolute toolbox. That's how I'm going to describe you today. We've got this poster that I put up every week, at every protest. You are an absolute disgrace. And by the way, I've been told that you're not a proper veteran, so can you come out and say otherwise, please? And I'm not going to call you sir, because you're not a sir. Because a sir is a gentleman that looks out for women, and you don't do that. All you want to do is be a career politician. You gave a pathetic little statement to Braintree Wethersfield Times where you said that this is not local people. I'm the founder of this protest group and I've lived in this town for 36 years. My parents 50. So don't you dare say this isn't run by local people. You also said they're not peaceful. Tell me where one of these local people have been arrested. They haven't, because it is peaceful. You just want to shut us down, but it's not happening. Conservative-run Braintree District Council, leader Tom Cunningham, when I confronted you about bin issues, what did you say to me when I said people should protest? Waving banners and shouting doesn't help anyone. That's his response. That's how much he cares about how you all feel about situations. That he is trying to shut down your lawful right to protest. And I tell you what, Tom, do whatever you want. Try and stop these protests all you want. I will come and stand outside the council office myself. I don't care. What you guys forget in Braintree District Council, Tom Cunningham, other people associated with him, James Cleverly, you are voted in by the people living in this town, and we can hold you to account if you do not do what you're supposed to do. And patronising your constituents and your residents on social media is disgusting. Along with some of the people that work in your social media department, it's really pathetic how they respond. I roll emojis to people that are paying their wages. We are taxpayers. Oh, little fell on me. I'm calling on Braintree District Council to come out of the woodwork and actually get off their bums and organise a meeting with the town. Stop blaming the Home Office. We know nothing's going to change with them, but you need to work with us to combat the sexual violence and the abuse that is starting in this town. It's no good having these little signs up saying you can't do sexual assaults in public and expecting good people that are trying to work as enforcement officers for the council. You're putting them in difficult positions, making them approach people that are on drugs or potentially could be dangerous without any proper equipment to protect themselves. What you should be doing is liaising with the police and making Martin Richards spend more money in this bloody town. Where's the £20,000 for insurance patrol that the Home Office gave Braintree Police? Braintree Police. Do you know where it went on the protests? They're not spending it on patrolling the town when the migrants come. That's why you can't see a copper. It's disgusting. All these police are now being made to politically police. They're not actually policing the crimes they want to be policing and putting people away. Political policing, it's ridiculous. I have to say though, it's been refreshing, despite what your political views might be, to see that Essex County Council has started to stand up and say the base is not okay. Peter Harris, the leader of Essex County Council, went on GB News and he actually brought up crimes that have happened in this town. He stood up for us, so for that, I do think he is very admirable. We've also got an issue in our town, and I don't care if I become, like a hit or anything, like someone targets me. We have got an issue with illegal cigarettes in our high street, right? There is an email address that's been set up by the council for you to report it, and believe me, the ones that are going in there and you're getting your little cheeky illegal cigarettes, what I'll say to you is, with illegal cigarettes comes illegal working and grooming. So if you're okay with that, keep putting your money in their tills and buying your illegal cigarettes. But otherwise, you report it to the police and the council, please. We don't need that scum in this town. So to all you shops that are selling illegal cigarettes in this town, I've got my eye on you and you don't scare me. Lastly, before I move on to our speakers, I want to say we do need patrols. We need people, good people in the community, that are not going to want to go and fight people, not vigilantes. We need real people that are going to prepare to stand up, that are here on Thursdays, just patrolling, keeping out an eye, or perhaps in the evenings when these girls are being approached for massages. Because if not, I'm telling you, there's going to be a rape take place. And I don't want to be the person that has to deal with that has to deal with more victims and their families, because I have been dealing with it. It's very hard for them to have to go through it and to know that there possibly could have been something they did to stop it from happening. But lastly, I just want to say as well, what an utter disgrace it is that Anne Widdecombe has been murdered. It is awful. I also think it's a shame that we've got people in this town who like to start petitions and be abusive to people about flags. Hello, Adam. Hi. That's our famous Adam Willett, who went to the BBC and claimed that all of the flags are really bad. Nobody abuse him though, please. We're not violent. Everybody has a right to freedom of speech. That's Adam's view.
Adam, you're a white cow!
Anyway, on to the next speaker. You've heard enough from me. I do apologise, but I like to fill people in when they come to the town and update people. Now, our next speaker is Shane. I'd like to introduce him. He's been through most people could ever imagine. Shane is a proud dad, a cancer survivor, and he ran as a restore counsellor for Newham. He's always stood up for his community through everything, and he's been faced with so much, but he's never given up. And today, he's passionate about speaking up for others and fighting for a better future for his children and for ours. Please give him a round of applause.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello. So first of all, I want to say a massive thank you to Shell for inviting me here today. What an extraordinary woman she is. Not just an asset to Braintree, but a beacon for the whole of the entire United Kingdom. A strong, fearless leader, standing tall at the front when so many others hide. So Shell, we salute you. Hello. And to every single one of you who chose to stand here today, thank you. In an age when cowards stay silent, scroll and look the other way, you all showed up. That is courage, that is strength, and I respect every single one of you for it. My name is Shane Wiskin. I'm a proud father of two beautiful daughters, a devoted fiancé, and most importantly, I'm one of you. At just 21 years of age, my entire world was shattered in a single year. I survived a major heart operation, I battled stage 3 blood cancer, I had 6 months of brutal chemotherapy, and then to top it off, I lost my partner, the woman who got me through cancer, to her own illness, cystic fibrosis. The pain was soul crushing. There was nights I stood on the edge of the abyss, ready to end it all. But I made a choice. With the love of my family and the support of my community, and the grace of God, I refused to break. I fought back through the darkness, and 11 years later, I stand here before you, not as a victim, but as a victor. A proud father, and engaged again after going through experience. That is the power of never surrendering. If I can rise from the rock bottom and rebuild my life, then Britain can rise too. The same unbreakable spirit that saved me lives inside Hello, hello, hello. That is the power of never surrendering. If I can rise from rock bottom and rebuild my life, then Britain can rise too. With the same unbreakable spirit that saved me lives inside every single one of you. Now, Britain once made integration work. People came here seeking a better life. They worked hard, they respected our ways, and they contributed. But what we face today is not immigration, it's invasion. Since 2020, over 190,000 people have stormed our shores in small boats. Across the country, 250,000 British children, our daughters, our sisters and our mothers was raped and groomed and trafficked by Pakistani grooming gangs. Our women are being sacrificed. Our men are being attacked. And those in power expect us to stay silent while they flood towns like Braintree with people from places even the government don't want us to travel to. And I say enough is enough. I'm from Canning Town, Newark. I stood as an independent for a fight to change my backyard, and I was crushed. I only got 159 votes of our people. Many families like mine fled East London for the safety of Essex and Braintree, and now the same nightmare has followed you all here. So let me ask you this, are we going to keep running? No! So then, here, this ends now. We stand our ground as one people. We have not faced a threat like this since World War II, and as men, we must rise. Not with a reckless violence that achieves nothing, but with sharp minds, iron will, and unbreakable communities. We take control of the ballot box, we vote like our survival depends on it, because it does. And we need to start building right now. We turn Braintree into a fortress. Create WhatsApp groups in every single neighbourhood so we can alert each other instantly to any suspicious migrant behaviour. Record everything. Collect evidence on what is happening in our communities, because one day, and I repeat, one day, that day is coming and we will hold them all accountable for treason. Now, I know we all have different political views, but I'm here and I'm calling on every single one of you to get behind the only man with a real sensible, courageous, and that is Rupert Lowe. He speaks truth when others tremble, and that is leadership. That is the direction we need. Holding traitors accountable for destroying our country for their own profits. Now, when I say this, I never liked politics. I barely voted. Good people staying silent helped create this situation. But today, right here, right now, we wake up. We carry the fighting spirit of our ancestors who defended this island against all odds. We carry the same fire that dragged me from despair to fatherhood, to love and to purpose. And we will use that fire to forge a better Britain, for our children, for our communities and for our future. The time is now. Now we come together as a strong, proud, tight-knit community of English and British people. We stand boldly, we stand unapologetically against all evil. We will not be silenced, we will not be replaced, and we will not surrender our towns, our heritage, or our children's future. So my message to Braintree, stand firm, build your community like a fortress, look out for one another, fight for one another and vote like everything you love depends on it, because it does. And if a broken young man from Newham can rise from the ashes and stand before you all with strength and hope, then imagine what we can achieve as one community. England can rise again, and it will. Stronger, prouder and safer than ever before. So Braintree, let's do this for our families, for our children and for our country. God bless you all.
Let's give Shane a massive, massive round of applause. Now, if I'm honest, I've actually had enough of looking at this man's face. Let's put up a real hero, Lee Heath, okay? Marie's here today, she's in the crowd, she's the mother of Lee. Now Lee was killed by 4 illegal migrants in Germany, and the Foreign Office did nothing really to help her. And she doesn't know if any of those men that killed her son are in this country, and she won't ever know. So we're here to support her, and we're also here to not let people forget about Lee. So let's give Marie a massive round of applause for being so brave. Now, my next speaker is Cam. Now, Cam has come all the way from Birmingham today. He's an independent journalist, a public speaker who grew up in Iran and later made Britain his home. He's drawing on his lived experience. Cam speaks about freedom, identity and the changes that he sees taking place in the UK, a country that he truly loves. Give him a round of applause.
Hello, Patriots. I know none of you woke up today thinking you're going to see a migrant in a protest for illegal migration, but here we are. But before I start, I want to tell you a little bit about me. I come from a country where our freedom, our culture, and everything we had was taken away from us. And just like now, we never ever thought that could happen. So the media, and even some of the reactions I'm getting from the people in this town, they're looking at us like we are crazy. We are bad people. Do you know what I see? I see real patriots. I see strong women. I see brave women and men standing up for their town, standing up for their country. Don't let anyone ever tell you you're a bad person for that.
Tell them, Cam.
And I say this as a migrant. If stuff like this bothers you, you can always go back. No one's holding you hostage here. This country gave me everything that the Islamic regime in Iran took away from me. People like you, the so-called racist white people, became my friends and my family. When I was young, my friend's mom used to cook and look after me just as if I was a white boy. She didn't care. And that's the exact thing I'm seeing here today. Patriotism, love, passion. When it comes to the safety of women and children, that's where I draw the line. I don't care, you can label me as a fascist, as racist. Oh, he's just trying to blend in. He's just trying to be white. I actually am, I'll go to this Sunday. What you're doing here today is brutally important. Because in 1979, a worse fear happened to the Iranians. We lost our culture, a culture that outdates most religion, outdates Islam, outdates Christianity, outdates Judaism. We lost it all. We lost the safety of our women and our children just because we didn't speak up. So I want to say this to the delusional liberals who think it won't be you, it won't happen to you. Does your daughter or a woman in your family has to get raped for you to actually realize what's going on here? I'm a migrant. I come from immigration. What is happening now is not migration. I don't see an ounce of integration in these people that are coming over. They also hate me, just because I'm Iranian and I'm a Christian. We are letting people in this country that unfortunately their brains been completely overtook by an ideology that doesn't let them love other people. Don't be fooled. You can't love them. And it's got nothing to do with race, religion, colour or anything. It's just an ideology that separates people from being able to love people that are not like them, that don't practice the same religion. The crimes that happen in this town by illegal migrants does not represent the migrant community. And if you're a true migrant, you would be standing here today. You will stand with these people. You will stand with a country that gave you safety, gave you everything. To the leftist media, I'll tell you for free, over my dead body, are you going to take the rights and the freedom of speech of white people? Over my dead body, are you going to overtake these towns? Over my dead body, are you going to bring Sharia law to the UK? Because people like me and people up here will stand against you. We will not win! Are you going to pay me now so I can go ahead? I hope you're enjoying this beautiful day. Again, I'm so ridiculously proud of every single one of you because I know how hard it is to speak as a white person. So hard. You can't win. I've seen it with my own eyes. You literally, in the last decade, a white person cannot win. You can't win. But again, when it comes to the safety of your towns, of your women and your children, doesn't matter. Let them label you as a fascist, as a far-right agitator.
Just right.
And again, I just want to say big respect to you, Shell, because again, I come from a country where women are oppressed. So when I see strong women standing up for their values, standing up for their towns, standing up for their children, I am so proud of that. And I'm so proud of every single one of you for supporting today. Give her a massive round of applause. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. Thank you.
Let's give Cam a massive round of applause. Coming all the way from Birmingham. You know, him speaking out as a Persian Christian who's come from Iran, he has been targeted himself for the activism work that he's doing. And I think it's so important that we hear from legal migrants, people that have come to our country genuinely fleeing war, come here legally and is embracing our country and loves our country as much as we do. That's the type of people we want here. We don't want illegal men who want to change our country and suppress our women. So I'm just going to move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Tanya. She's someone who has never been afraid to stand up for what she believes in. She's heavily involved with women's events in the local community and passionate about supporting women and children. She believes in giving a voice to those who are often unheard and standing up for what she believes in. She's also my sister, so we come from a line of strong women. So can you give her a round of applause? Are you all ready? Because I'm the Gobby sister. Right. Yeah, call me Gobby, I know. Too often, those... Oh, hang on, I've got a technical hitch here. Too often, those who are supposed to protect the vulnerable have failed them. When teachers, social workers, police or governments ignore wrongdoing, dismiss victims or cover up abuse, public trust is broken. Victims deserve to be heard, believed where appropriate, and given a fair investigation, not silenced or ignored. Now, I've seen a lot of victims be silenced recently, especially in this town. Has anyone else? Yes, what was that? I need it a bit louder. Yes. So the ones who tried to silence the victims, look at yourself a bit harder. Speaking the truth is really easy. Many people who come forward to do so know that they may face criticism or pressure, yet they do it because they believe others should not have to suffer in silence. We should always pursue truth through evidence, due process and accountability. Freedom is something that must be protected. We should defend freedom of speech, freedom of belief and the rights of safety of every person. We must also ensure that women and children, sorry, technical hitch, no, my phone, sorry, I've got a new phone. Next one. Right, basically, I'm not going to bother, okay? I'll speak from my heart. I am sick of it. I am sick of the victims being silenced. I am sick of us being called racist for being white. Well, I didn't ask to be born. I didn't ask. And now we are the ones that are made to feel like we're racist, but we are the victims. This government and the last government, they're the scum. We're all sick of it. But you need to all play your parts. Build your community. Exactly. We need people to feel confident speaking out. You need to support each other. You need to be united. Don't let the words of racist and all that from the dirty, unwashed lefties upset you. Because you know in your heart that you're good, honest people. Most of them don't work and claim benefits and have the damn cheek to call us a scum. And those who work in authority, whether you wear a uniform or you work for whatever, take a long, hard look at yourself, because you are part of this. You are part of this because you're doing what they want. You're going against what you truly know is real, what should be done. So, as I say, all those in power and all those that are part of it, I hope you sleep well at night, because you're letting down the victims, you're letting down the children. What about Henry? What about the girls from Southport? There's so many more, and there's going to be more and more coming forward. And every time we're desensitised, because we see it so much now and we hear it, there's rapes everywhere. And then we're told we're wrong for reporting it, for sharing the information. Well, listen, we don't shut up, because we're strong women. No! And we need strong men. And more of you are standing up, and we're proud of you. We don't call for violence like they want. We're not the left. We are right. Always. So stand up and be united. And I want everyone, if they can, when they get home, give yourself a minute to think of all the victims. Think of the survivors of the grooming gangs. For years, they were told they were wrong, those that survived. Some were murdered and didn't get to ever tell their story. So when anyone around here goes and calls us horrible, scummy people for telling the truth about children that have been brutally raped for years and years and years, you're scum. Because we know the truth and we will never stop. Thank you.
Thank you. See, you don't always need your phone. Our next speaker is someone that a lot of Braintree knows, and she doesn't like to put her face out there. But I forced her to, and she's got no choice. She's got a wealth of knowledge, nearly 2 decades involved in grassroots activism. She stands up for causes she believes in that matter. She gives a voice to those who often go unheard. Throughout her journey, she's remained committed to speaking openly about the truth, even when doing so has been unpopular or challenging to her life. She's driven by justice. She always fights for the little people, for the most vulnerable. She encourages people to question, think critically, and have the courage to speak out when something doesn't feel right. A big round of applause for Carla. She hates it, but come on, one more big round of applause.
Yes, I do hate it. Right. This might be advice I'm going to read from my phone. I'm going to. When people ask me why we get out en masse on the streets in London, I have to explain it. We built a community. We built it because we knew we would need it. When people from all over the country and even the world come together in one place like that, people like every single one of you that's come out today can see that you aren't alone. And that's the truth of the matter. Years ago, no one wanted to listen to us. We talked about the demographic change from mass immigration. No one wanted to hear about grooming gangs. No one wanted to hear about the chances of terror on our streets. We were just racist folks. Back then, 500 of us, 1,000 of us, pushed into car parks, into shopping centres, to give our speeches and shout. Now, we can shut down the centre of London. But that's not just it. The fighting needs to go on in small communities like this all across the country. I was born in London, E1. My granddad had a stall on the market, my dad had a stall on the market. Mass migration got out of control, and now it's less than 30% white British. Less than 30%, 27% of the area. For years, the population there grew, and we did the wrong thing. We did the wrong thing. We moved to rural areas, like Braintree, like Chelmsford. All the little villages around got... We did. We ran away. We went, oh, don't like this, we'll move. It was called white flight. Right? These men on the base, they're going to stay there. And then they're going to get housed in your town. They're supposed to be vetted. Recently an audit found that 75% of those granted asylum were granted it wrongly. They said if that was replicated across every different area at the Home Office, then pretty much most of them shouldn't be here. So for Braintree, that means these men that are granted asylum that shouldn't be are living in HMOs. In every area of the UK where the huge demographic change has happened, the communities have suffered. It's going to be no different here. This lovely little market town is going to be no different. Soon, like many other areas, your taxes are going to pay for leaflets from 20 different languages, interpreters, then places of worship that change the skyline will be built. Shops to service these people's needs will be open. Some will move their families over, and the pressure on services will grow even more. There aren't going to be just the 1,250 men in Wethersfield. It's going to be moving into the town and they'll fill it up again. Every time 1,250 men are settled in the town, they are going to fill Wethersfield again. Until there are thousands. There is a growing trend of offences against women. Recently, and this is a bit I must get right, the rape gang inquiry was released. This echoed some of the findings from other inquiries like the cases report about migration. The rape gang report. I am grateful to everyone on my team who has contributed to exposing this demonic chapter in Britain's history. A combination of the paralysing fear of racism, accusations and the scramble for votes from imported foreign subcultures meant that pure evil was allowed to resuscitate. Nor is this horrendous ordeal over. The root cause was immigration, beginning with the British Nationality Act in 1948 and escalating under Tony Blair from 1997 onwards, believing proud nations to be responsible for the mid-century destruction of Europe. Our post-war leaders embraced diversity and multiculturalism as a supposedly civilised alternative. This report establishes beyond any doubt that this open society's obsession has in fact enabled untold barbarism of its own. Oil and water do not mix, and cultural differences going back centuries are the genesis of this problem. The basics of this statement stay relevant. Although so much of the invasion now is framed differently, the boat influx, the same issues are there, and some are even worse. These men have thrown away their identities en route. They can't come the legal route, and we are told not to visit the places they come from. They have a history that is even hard to trace. They've come from countries, some of them have been arrested along the way, but still they come in. They're undocumented, unknown, minimal vetting takes place, and then they're allowed to wander our streets. Some abhorrent crimes have been committed by these men. They will not integrate. The attitude they have shown us when we've tried to document their visits cements that. Some are smug, they brag about their freebies and their cushy life. Others are arrogant and aggressive. Some even resort to violence against women, as seen recently in an attack on camera. They will, as the social norm and the cultural norm, they will come together. They will build their own community within ours. This isn't the same as a bunch of expats going to Benidorm and making their life. This is different. They want to change everything. Their whole ethos is to take over, fuck the British, and then we're just cash cows to them. With lax law, a great benefit system, and a government that doesn't give a flying fuck about the British born. You're going to say, hold on, rape gang inquiry? Pakistani men. That's where you're not looking. If you take a look, Sudan, 94% Islamic. Syria, 87% Islamic. Afghanistan, 99% Islamic. Somalia, 99% Islamic. So, what are they doing? They're letting these migrants get off the bus, and then they're putting a cross and chain round their neck, in the hope that none of you notice what is going to come. They come from places where women, they're chattels. They sell their girls. They sell their women. In some of these places, FGM is 99%. They don't care about these women. They're nothing. And that culture is moving amongst you. They're going to move it in next door. The governments of this country have just bent over backwards for them. They have no intention of bending over backwards for us. Where's James Cleverly? Where is he? He's not here. He's not listening to us. Somalia. I spoke to some Somalians, and they said, we've come here running from war. We'll be all right with the women. I said to them, 99% of your women have been cut. He walked off. He didn't want to talk about it. Afghanistan, the women have no rights. Culturally, women and girls are nothing to these people. Why are there not thousands of women rocking up at Dover, trying to escape? Because they're not allowed. They're not allowed. These women are just about to become our women. That is exactly what they want. This is not about our friends, our neighbours. We've joined in small amounts around Braintree. You know them, they're fine. When I talk about these men, it's so you fully understand that their cultural mindset comes from a place that is not going to fit in. I don't want to scare you with the truth. I wish to incentivise you. Standing up and fighting, obviously not in a violent sense, don't go bashing people, all right? For your rights and for that of your friends and your daughters and them. You need to feel safe on your own streets again. These are your streets. You need to join together and argue for the women, for the elderly, for the kids, and you mustn't stop until you have got something changed, because every single one of you is in danger. It's that simple. These are cultures that you cannot mix with. And everyone's going to hate me for saying it, but it is Islamic. They are coming from Islamic territories. Right? Go and look at it. Come and ask me. I have spoken to so many people who don't understand what they're looking at. So many people that are giving misinformation. People that think the left, oh, they're all coming from war-torn countries. We don't care. No, they're not. They're not. They're looking for somewhere for their religion to flourish. It started in the 70s. It's going to grow. It's going to grow. We're just adding more and more people to it. And these men, they need to be stopped. They need to be stopped. And every single one of you needs to lobby whoever to get that done. Don't stop. Keep supporting Shelley. Keep supporting each other. And remember, this is your town. These are your streets.
Let's give Carla a massive round of applause for all the activism work she's done and for her support, because this is her town. As much as it's all about us, it's her town. She knows what's coming. Before I move on to the next speaker, I just wanted to say that our next protest is Saturday the 22nd of August. It's going to be called Essex Unites. I want everyone from Essex coming to Braintree to say no to Wethersfield base, no to HMOs and no to the hotels. So everyone is invited across Essex. We'll put it up on social media later, but we're going to be starting at the skate park in Braintree with a march down to the fountain here for speeches again. But 22nd of August, put it in the diaries, please guys. Our next speaker is a familiar face, Richard Thompson. Richard is a leading voice behind the Great British Political Action Committee, which is dedicated to holding the government to account and bringing people together across the political spectrum who believe in greater transparency and accountability. He is also the founder of Fair Family Justice, campaigning to modernise and improve the family courts for families across the UK. Please follow Richard on his social media channels because he does amazing work, like I said, for families and holding the government to account with political committee actions. Give a round of applause to Richard, please.
Thank you, Shelley, for that very generous introduction. I want to start by paying my respects and tribute to Anne Widdecombe, who was just absolutely brutally, evilly, seemingly murdered the last few days. I had a meeting with Anne, and I can assure you that she was as formidable off-screen as she was on-screen. She's also an incredibly caring and kind lady. So I really hope that the person responsible is found, the motivations are found. We live in an increasingly violent world, and I hope they get what's coming to them. As Shelley said, I am the founder of Fair Family Justice. I want to just take a quick moment just to talk about that. The family courts, they actually incentivise, in my view and many others that I've spoken to, misrepresentation, perjury, weaponisation of the family court system. It's a tragedy for every single child that goes through that system and has that system abused. It means that those unfortunate children miss out on building relationships with parents, with siblings, with very important family members, and all the memories that are not made. I've had some success already with Fair Family Justice, but it is a grassroots movement. So I would really invite everybody respectfully to have a look at fairfamilyjustice.com, register your support. As we know from coming to these rallies, MPs and legislators typically don't do anything unless you hold their feet to the fire. If I have the support of everybody, I sufficiently have enough fuel to build enough fires in front of the feet of people that need to do things. So please have a look at fairfamilyjustice.com. I actually wanted to try and share some positivity today. We come here about whenever we have these protests, and I'm privileged and afforded the ability to come and speak, and we raise, and quite rightly, all of the issues that are happening in this community and indeed the country itself. We need to raise those issues. We need to drag them into the cold light of day so that people can see what's going on, and it can't be hidden, it can't be swept under the carpet, and hopefully people take action. And it's working, because you're turning up month in, month out, and up and down the country other places are turning up month in, month out for their protests too. When you import thousands and thousands of people who are statistically more likely to commit violent acts of sexual abuse, it's a recipe for national disaster. What we're trying to achieve at the Great British Political Action Committee, GBPAC, this is my positive message. We need to take action today, not in 3 years' time at the next general election. And I can say, I've spoken to many people, all these different rallies that I go to, and I've spoken to people today. I'm pretty sure if I was to ask people to raise hands, they would say that they're a member of a political party. Whatever that party may be, whether that's Reform, Conservative, Restore, Labour, whoever that is, you would be active. Just being here today shows that you're active. But the reality that we have to face is that turkeys don't vote for Christmas. This Labour government is going to stay in office until they're dragged out kicking and screaming. How many gangs have been smashed?
None whatsoever.
Has immigration stopped?
No.
In fact, Shabaya Mahmood is actually opening up new routes for immigration, if you can believe it. This government is laughing in our faces. For over 10 years, we have voted to reduce migration. And they've not listened at all. So what we're doing, we've proven the concept with the GB Pact, we've proven it. I can't talk too much on it because we've got an active court case next week holding this treacherous government to account for trying to surrender the Chagos Islands, and we are doing all we can to stop that from happening. Our plan over the next few years is to tie this government up in knots, this treacherous government up in knots, anti-British government up in knots, to stop them from imposing their anti-British will on us. We need your support to help do that, alongside the parties that you support. We're a cross-party organisation. That's our strength, unity. Our plan, like I said, is to do this for the next 3 years, and hopefully beyond that, because what we've learned, if anything, for the last 14 years of the Conservatives, is that we need somebody holding people to account, and that is what this organisation does. I didn't serve 2 tours of Afghanistan as a Royal Marine Commando, fighting for this country, to sit back for the next 3 years and hope that the issues are sorted out. I want to take action today because I don't necessarily believe and have faith in our political class that in 3 years' time there will be a country to save. We need action now. So please have a look, please join. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for Shelley for doing her incredible work. She's amazing.
Thank you so much, Richard. Now, our next speaker is Lynette from the Clacton Pink Ladies. Lynette, if you like, I can bring the microphone down to you there. You don't have to come up here if it's easier for you, my love. Now, Lynette has spent her life supporting vulnerable children, working in secure accommodation, children's homes and fostering for 27 years. She's now retired and she's using her voice to speak out on the issues that she cares deeply about, which is women and girls. She's one of the founders of the Clacton Pink Ladies and is committed to serving her community and raising awareness, using both her professional experience and her own journey as a child in care. Let's give her a very warm welcome.
Hello, Braintree. I'd like the police to listen to this speech, and I'd like any lefties standing around to listen to it. I've been silenced for the last 50 years, working with young children that have been abused. Today I want to talk about the dangers to your children from the invaders illegally entering our country. Rape, drugs, theft, grooming gangs, county lines, child sexual exploitation, female genital mutilation, etc., etc. Our government has failed us completely. Soon we will no longer be the indigenous people in the UK. These invaders are not here to integrate. They're here to take over. The government's experiment of massive migration has failed, and we sadly are living the consequences of this failure. Diversity is our strength. Fuck off. Diversity is our downfall. These people do not want to integrate. They expect their women to be subservient and obedient. We, especially the women here today, we're not ever going to accept those values. We do not believe in the oppression of women. After working with children impacted by trauma for 50 years, I've chosen one child's experience to share with you. I will call her Child A. At the age of 11, A was picked up in Colchester by a group of foreign men. She was taken to Stratford in London and raped constantly for 3 days. She escaped and handed herself in to the police. These men have never been punished. As we are constantly informed by the Mayor, Sadiq Khan, There are no rape gangs in London. Bullshit. I entered a poetry competition run by Coram Voice. The title of the poem was called Growing Up. I want to share her words with you. Growing up, I remember my dad getting arrested in front of me and I couldn't do nothing about it. I remember my mum kicking him out. I remember being full of rage and rages with my friend. I remember the day I got to give up my dog. I felt like shit. I remember crying because I missed my dad. I remember my dad being around, but who gives a shit? I remember not sleeping, thoughts running through my head. I remember getting bullied and nothing being done. I remember running away and not knowing where to go. I remember being put into care and feeling unwanted. I remember being raped. I remember wanting to die. Just end it all. I wish people could eat makeup and make them pretty on the inside. Then we try to knock us kids in care down, but you will fail, so fuck you all. You don't like us, piss off. I remember the first time I cut. I was in so much pain and I just felt numb. I remember the taste of my first bag. I remember the first time I smoked weed and the first time I sniffed, but that don't make me a failure. I remember trying to kill myself because the other kids were so cruel. I remember the social doing nothing. I remember sleeping on a cold bench. I remember being put into care with new people. I didn't fit. I asked them why they didn't fight and they laughed at me. I remember being with Lynn and Tony. I remember feeling safe. I remember feeling like I had a family, like I had a home. I might be a kid in care, but I have a story. I remember. Never mind growing up. Being a child in this country is hard enough. Sorry. Every time I read that. A's life was chaos. She had low self-esteem and really wanted to die. I did hourly checks to ensure she was kept safe. Our house was alarmed due to gang threats, and we had immediate police response if there was a problem. I beg you all, people of Braintree, please don't let this happen to your children. We must stand united to stop this. Are you with me, Braintree? Yes. Stop the boats and deport all the fucking illegals. Thank you.
Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back!
Big round of applause to Lynette. Oh, so our next speaker is Barry. Now Barry is someone who dedicated countless hours to bringing people together through a shared sense of pride, community and respect for our country's flag. He's one of the founders of Flag Force, and Barry has helped build a movement that's encouraged people to get involved, show their support and stand together. I'd just like to say that Barry and our flag team is nothing to do with Raise the Colours.
Which one?
We have never supported Raise the Colours and we don't. We are a standalone movement. Nobody in our flag group's committed any crimes. They've not murdered anyone. They haven't allegedly done anything to children or possessed children's pornography. I just want to point it out. Our group are their own group, Flag Force Braintree. Give them a round of applause, please.
Michelle's doing half my speech there. Right, so just again introduce myself. Most of you know me by now, but my name's Barry Allen. For my sins, I run the Flag Force Braintree team. And as Michelle was saying, we're not associated with any other group. We do things differently. We're not into shaming, naming and shaming. We've got video of people taking our flags down, but we chose not to put it out because we didn't want the backlash. And as you saw, one of the prime candidates walked through the group earlier on, and you got a very welcome response. So I just wanted to give a bit of an update on what we've been doing and how we've been doing it. So currently we have around about 350 flags in and around town. We are, without doubt, the most flagged town, not just in Essex, I would argue in the UK. Yes. Thank you. We've put in that many flags up, comes the responsibility of maintaining them. We were out the other night, it was actually the hottest, it was the first hottest night of the year. It was over 33 degrees, I believe, and we started at 10 o'clock in the evening, and we did the whole of Crescent Road, and basically we replaced every single flag with a brand new one. And that's going to be our approach, rather than just picking the ones that look a bit rough, we're just going to replace the whole lot. Now with that comes cost, and also comes work. And one of the issues that we do have is that we don't have that many volunteers. So this is my opportunity to ask you, for you to ask your partners, for you to ask your neighbours, and say to them, if they're positive about the flags, why can't they help us? We need people to go up ladders, we need people to hold ladders, we need people to carry bags. We also need people to help us lift pick. When I say we do things differently, that's what we do differently. We don't just put flags up. We litter pick every single road we flag. Why? Because this is our community. And we're part of that community. The flags, there are 101 reasons why people put flags up. And if you was to ask each and every member of the group, you'd probably get a different one. But collectively, we have a single message, and it's a simple one. But we're the silent majority, and we're silent no more. That's what we're saying. Now you can read into that whatever you want. But what I would say is that the powers that be need to listen to that. Because they get in on such a slim majority of votes, that when the silent majority actually wake up and say, I've got a vote, I'm going to use it, it's going to make a massive difference. The other two things I just wanted to mention, the flagpole fitting. I've only got one person that currently does that because they have to have insurance, third-party liability insurance. And unfortunately, he had an accident where he was barbecuing. He stood on a hot coal. And he's not in a fit state to go up and down ladders at the moment, so that's been put on hold. The other thing that we're also doing is that Braintree's, like most of the rest of Essex, has suddenly become very famous for the number of bins it's got. So we are doing bin decals. These are basically stickers that go on the front of the bin. And we will be running, as part of our process, you can phone up, you can say, yeah, I'd love to have some bin decals, and we'll come and fit them to your bins. It certainly makes a drab bin look a lot more exciting. There are several designs, and somehow we're going to get pictures of those onto our Facebook page. So that's really all I wanted to say. If you know someone that can help, and what I really need is a man with a van. I've got many people that will walk along with us with a bag carrying the flags. I've not got so many people that will actually go up ladders. One of my guys is 75 years of age. So any of you young men out there that won't do it, puts you to shame. So think about that. So if you're interested or you know someone, come find me in the crowd or go on our Facebook page. There's a phone number on our Facebook page, there's an answer machine on it, leave a message, we'll get back to you. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. So we did have a couple of other speakers, but obviously they couldn't make it because of the situation with the trains today. But I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone for coming, especially in this heat. And please, please don't forget the 22nd of August, Essex Unites, 1 to 3 p.m, Braintree Skate Park with a march down here. So 22nd of August. How many of you are going to be here on the 22nd of August? Thank you. And also, anything that's happening in the town, report it to the police and tell your community. Thank you all so much.